Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going. As I like to point out every single day, it expands our base. I.V.F, AI, G.O.P. What do they all have in common? Let's begin with I.V.F, in vitro fertilization. I learned that 8 million people in the United States were born because of I.V.F. And this is an important point. The Southern Baptist Convention just said they're opposed to I.V.F. And the Republicans in the House of Representatives are having a problem because there is a resolution not only in the House but in the Senate supporting the principle of I.V.F. And the Republicans, well, they have a problem because many Republicans in the base oppose I.V.F. or at least connect I.V.F. with the right of a woman to choose. This is a serious issue for the Republican Party because a majority of Americans favor the right of a woman to choose. And indeed, a majority of Republicans favor I.V.F., including Donald Trump, who has declared absolutely that he believes that I.V.F. is important. How will the Republican Party tackle this? Well, they say the Democrats are raising this as a political issue in the Congress. It is a political issue. It is something we should all be concerned about. The right of a woman to control her own body, and just as important, the right of a family to be able to exist through I.V.F. Well, that's important. I have a very good friend who has 2 children born because of I.V.F. And I have to tell you, without any question, thank God those children were born. If you believe in life, as the Republicans purport to do, then there should be no ambiguity, no question about support for I.V.F, in vitro fertilization. And that leads me to AI, artificial intelligence. Believe me, this is a major issue now. The Pope landed in Italy today unexpectedly at the G7 conference to raise the issue of artificial intelligence. We've talked about it before. It is inevitable, but there is something we need to understand about AI. You cannot have intelligence without reason. And if a machine, a computer, a supercomputer, is destined to be the determination about artificial intelligence for good or evil, we're in trouble. There has to be a check on artificial intelligence. I believe that with all my heart because I've seen artificial intelligence create illusionary, unreal situations and present them as authentic. And if you don't have grounding, if you don't have a sense of taste, unless you know your history, well, it's very hard to tell what's real and what isn't. And that brings me to the GOP. Yesterday, we saw a spectacle in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump returned to the scene of the crime. And the Republican Party, at least most of them, embraced him. It was a tragic day in the history of the Republican Party and a tragic day in the history of American politics. How can a political party blindly follow one person, a cult of personality, unwilling to offer any notion of dissent? Let me point out that I could have played for you the sounds of Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and other Republican leaders, including a host of members of Congress who expressed their anger and distaste and their blame for what happened on January the 6th at the feet of Donald Trump. Where were they yesterday? Has the Republican Party sold its soul Several of you made an inquiry of me of the article or the short story I referred to, The Devil and Daniel Webster. Google it, read it, and you will see that it is easy, unfortunately, for people to decide to sell their souls. And that's exactly what the Republican Party has done. My friends, I don't care whether we talk about I.V.F, AI, or the G.O.P. The basic decency of people, the sense of morality, the ability to debate issues, the ability to come to conclusions, which I believe are representative of most Republicans and Democrats, will be critical in the upcoming election. We are 2 weeks away from the first debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. All of these issues need to be raised. They need to be raised legitimately and effectively. And there is a critical question which must be asked at that first debate. The question is, do you believe that what happened on January 6th was an insurrection? That's right. That question needs to be asked. And more than that, we need to know whether or not the Republican Party still has a conscience. And it will be the goal of that debate, I believe, on the part of the Democrats, to reveal the weaknesses within the Republican Party. And it will be the Republicans' goal to reveal the weaknesses in Joe Biden. I hope out of that debate, we learn about the strength of America. That's it. Clear and simple. I'm John Rothman, and you are listening to the voice that tries to act in a reasonable fashion when it comes to American politics. Thanks for tuning into another episode. Make sure to follow along. Let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand, which, of course, is our goal. You can interact with me on Facebook and on LinkedIn, but I want to express my special appreciation to the one person who I work with every day who is not artificially intelligent. She's just naturally intelligent. And that is the producer of Around the Political World with John Rothman, Gogo Zoger. Gogo, thank you. And to all of you, have a wonderful weekend. I will be back on Monday.